6.2. Now, the section 6.2 that we're going to start, I'm breaking it into 2 days. Okay? I normally do it all at once, but I want to make sure that we have got it down before I add to it. So, I am splitting up 6.2 into 2 days. Today, the part we are doing, or part 1, is going to be multiplying radicals. When we multiply radicals, the first thing I want to tell you, in order to multiply radicals, they need to be the same size. When I say the same size, that means can only multiply a cube root times a cube root, or a fourth root times a fourth root, or a square root times a square root. We cannot mix and match. It's not possible at this point to multiply something that isn't the same together. Okay? All right. So that being said, these are the 3 steps we're going to follow today when we multiply. Step 1, you're going to multiply the outsides. Step 2, you're going to multiply the insides. What? Yeah. And step 3, we're going to simplify. I gotcha. All right. So this is the steps we're going to follow. The only time we wouldn't do that is if they were not the same size, right? Okay. So here is example number 1. We're going to start off something really easy. Let's say I have 4 square roots 3 times by 2 square root 6. I'm starting with this one because square roots, we have already actually done these together. So we multiply our outsides. 4 times 2 is, what'd you say, Gabe? 8. Square roots. I'm going to multiply my insides together. 3 times 6 is 18. That's step 2. Step 3 says now we got to simplify that radical. So I'm going to break 18 down into 2 times 9. And 3 and 3. Exactly. I'm going to cross out my 9 so we don't get confused. I have a group of 3s that get to come out. Why am I only circling 2 3s? Because it's a square root. Very good, Irene. Because it's a square root, we only need 2 of the same thing, right? When that group of 3s come out to meet the 8 on the outside, what do we do with them? Times them. So we get 24. Square root, what number is left at home all by itself? 2. Example number 3. Or example number 2. I can't count. Example number 2. Let's go with the cube root of -4 times by the cube root of 18. All right. So do we have any coefficients on the outside to multiply together? Technically it's 1 times 1, right? Okay. So then I have the cube root of -4 times 18. What is -4 times 18? Good. -72. Now, it is an odd root. So if it's negative on the inside, what's the first thing that's got to come out of there? The negative is going to come out, right? We know our answer is going to be negative. Now we got to break down the 72. 72 is 8 times 9. 8 is 2 times 4. 9 is 3 times 3. And we still break down the 4 into 2 times 2. This time, how many friends do I need in order for it to come out? 3. Good. So I have a group of 3 2s that get to come out. Goes with that negative we already had on the outside, right? Left at home inside that cube root, there are 2 3s. What do I do with those? 3 times 3 is 9. Very good. Example number 3. Not really. I mean, they get a little bit bigger. Example number 3. Let's do 2x. The cube root of 9x times by 3x, the 4th root of 2x. Correct. We're going to say not possible. You can say no solution. Okay. What do you notice about the 2 different dimensions? Yes, this one is a cube root. This one's a 4th root. No. No. Nope, that's not how it works. Eventually, we're going to change it up a little bit. But right now, this is where we're at. So you can say not possible. You can say no solution. I'm okay with either one. Okay? All right, example number 4. It starts to get a little harder. All right, let's go with the 4th root, of 8x to the 3rd times by the 4th root of 10x to the 7th. All right, if we're going to multiply these together, we'd multiply the outsides. In this case, there's just one. So I have the 4th root. Make sure you have that 4 there. If you do not include the 4 on the outside, it's wrong. It's not a 4th root, right? It's a square root. Okay, multiplying your insides together. 8 times 10 is 80. X to the 3rd times x to the 7th is x. Good. All right. Now we simplify it. 80 we can break down into 2 times 40. 40 we can break down into 4 times 10. 4 is 2 times 2. And 10 is 2 times 5. How many 2's do we need? 4, because it's a 4th root. I'm going to circle those 4 2's. Those get to come out. Is there anything else that can come out? All right. So if I have my 4th root, that number 5 still stays inside, right? Let's look at our x's. If we have 10 x's in there, how many groups of 4 can come out? So we have x squared on the outside. How many are going to be left over then? X squared. Because again, if that was x to the 10th, that means I have 1 group of x to the 4. 2 groups of x to the 4 would be 8. So I have 2 more left over. Questions so far? Not doing too bad? We're okay? Not terrible. Example number 5. Example number 5, let's go with the square root of negative 2 x to the 4th y times by the square root of 2 x to the 2nd y. Okay, hold on. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to include this problem. The first thing we should do is we're going to write our square root, multiply them together. Yes, I agree, Gabe. It's a negative 4 x to the 6th y squared, right? Now, you can either say no real solution or you can make this imaginary. It's up to you. I'm okay either way, okay? You can. But, so this yes. If you're going to put the I on, you'd put it right after the number. So this technically should be, if you're going to do it with an I, this would be 2I x to the third y. Because the I is part of your number, so that's why you want it in the front. Okay? Or we can say this is no real solution. Huh? I know. All right. Example number 6. Yes. It is. Huh? Probably 8 is what my goal was. So give me 3 more, and then I will let you start your homework. Okay? All right, so example number 6. This, again, is what you are doing for 10 through 18 and 28 through 36. So it's both sections are where you're simplifying it. Okay, and it just says to multiply and simplify. All right. So if I have, for example, 3 fourth roots of negative 9x to the third, y to the fifth, times by 2 fourth roots, negative 9, x, y to the ninth. So on their own, it would be no solution or no real solution. But that's not what happens here. When we multiply them, it changes, right? So that's what we need to start with. So here we're going to multiply our outsides, 3 times 2. Then we have the fourth roots. Negative 9 times negative 9 is positive 81. X to the third times x is x to the fourth. Y to the fifth times y to the ninth is y to the 14th. Now this is a fourth root, so as we simplify, we have to have 4 friends, right? All right. 81 we can break down into 3 times 27. 27 is 3 times 9. And 9 is 3 times 3. So we have a group of 3s that get to come out. When that group of 3 comes out, what does it do with the 6 that's already there? Yeah, multiply. Maybe. Dave, did your phone just go off? Okay. 18. All right, do I have any numbers still underneath that fourth root? Okay. So now let's look at our x's. I have x to the fourth. Do I have any groups of 4 x's? We have just one. So I'm going to write my x out here. All right, let's talk about the y's. How many groups of 4 y's? 3. So I have y to the third. The 3 groups of 4 y's is y to the 12th. How many are left over? So those stay inside at home. They didn't have those extra 2 friends, right? Okay. Example number 7. I'll make this the last one if we're all listening. So 20 through 26. This is just asking you to simplify. So you don't have to multiply. You're just simplifying. But then you get to get a little bit bigger, a little fun. So let's say I have the fourth root of 800 x to the fourth, y to the 7th, and z to the 13th. All right, so we got to start with 800 again. How many friends are we looking for? 4. Okay. So I'm going to break 800 into 8 times 100. 8 we can break down into 2 times 4. 4 we can break down into 2 times 2. 100, Gabe, how do you want to break down 100?
1 second. 10 times 10.
All right, 10 times 10, he says. And then 10 we can break down into 2 and 5. And this one we can break down into 2 and 5. All right, so let's start with our numbers. We need a group of 4. We have 4 2s. Comes out as 1, 2, I agree. Do we have any other groups of 4 in the numbers? All right, so underneath my 4th root, I am going to multiply 5 times 2 times 5. That is 50. All right, let's look at our x's. I have x to the 4th. Which means I have one group of 4 x's that get to come out. I have y to the 7th. Right, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 y's, I have a group of 4 right there. They get to come out as 1y. That means I have 3 left over without a friend. I have to stay home. And then my z's, if I have z to the 13th, that means I can take z to the 3rd, right? Because that's 12 of them, right? And then there should be a z left over at home. Do we have any question on how to simplify these? Have I cleared everything up for you, Chris? We're good? Everybody's okay? All right. So your homework is only 10 through 36 even for today. Okay? I just wanted to make, I know, that's it. So simple. So you got 20 minutes. Let's get it done.